much better. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining today for this session on ensuring the safe and effective replacement of power wheelchair batteries. I'm Rainy, a physical therapist and certified ATP in Taiwan, working as a clinical services specialist at Promobile APAC. While Promobile products are referenced in this presentation, I disclose any potential conflict of interest to ensure transparency. This does not affect the objectivity of the information shared. Today, I'm presenting alongside my colleague, Tracee-Lee. Would you introduce yourself? All right, so let's start by comparing the two primary types of battery used in our industry. Lead acid batteries or SLA batteries comes in two main types. AGM and gel, which have long been the traditional choices for power mobility devices due to their lower initial cost and reliable charging and maintenance protocols. But they generally are heavier, have a shorter lifespan, and are prone to deep discharge damage. On the other hand, lithium batteries offer higher energy density, longer lifespan, lighter weight, and faster charging times. However, they come with a higher upfront cost, increased sensitivity to extreme temperatures and improper charging, and can be challenging for air travel regulations. So industry trends are shaping the future of power wheelchair batteries, while SLA batteries are still commonly used for their reliability and affordability. Lithium-ion batteries are gaining traction as the most advanced option. Despite their advantages, lithium batteries also present challenges that demand careful attention. The proliferation of low quality and counterfeit cells, often lacking proper safety regulations, and quality control has raised concerns. So real-world incidents across the globe underscore the severe consequences of battery failures in mobility devices. Recent tragedies serve as reminders of the danger posed by faulty, low quality, or mishandled lithium-ion batteries, which can lead to fires, explosions, and even fatalities. These risks make extensive testing and strict safety protocols essential for safe integration into medical devices. Take a closer look at the global lithium-ion batteries manufacturing landscape based on the latest report from the International Energy Agency. China currently dominates global production, accounting for over 70% of the supply, largely due to its cost advantages. Comparatively, US production, as you can see here, is quite small. I hope you can see it. US production costs are 41% higher compared to China, highlighting the competitive gap. However, this reinforces an important point. The battery safety concerns are not solely about country of origins, but about the quality control and manufacturing standards. Since 2010, lithium-ion batteries price have dropped 90%, with another 40% decline expected by 2030. This price reduction will make lithium-ion batteries even more accessible, increasing adoption across industries. Alongside the rapid expansion, US solutions warns of rising safety concerns, particularly in micro-mobility devices, which accounts for the highest number of battery-related fatalities. This incident highlights the urgent needs for stricter testing, quality control, product product design, certification, and user education. So as we've seen, battery-related hazards underscore the critical need for rigorous safety measures. However, ensuring safe and reliable battery performance extends beyond manufacturing and regulation. In this section, we'll explore key factors that clinicians and technicians must consider to not only prevent failures, but also for optimize the performance, reliability, and longevity of mobility devices. So what do I need to know when it comes to SLA batteries? When comparing batteries besides size, C rating is a key factor. The C rating determines how fast a battery can charge or discharge relative to its capacity. For example, a battery rated at C20 provides 63 ampere hours over 20 hours, but the same battery rated at C5 might only deliver 55 ampere hours over 5 hours. While there is no right or wrong rating, it's crucial to use the same rating scale when comparing batteries to ensure a fair comparison. Overcharging is a major concern and is caused by excessive voltage, not excessive charge. Too much voltage can still cause damage when a battery is are not fully charged. To prevent overcharging, it's essential to use a smart charger with an automatic shut-off features. Smart chargers follow a 3-stage charging process, ensuring battery longevity and performance. So using a charger that is designed for the specific battery type, whether it's an AGM or a gel or even a hybrid option, can help prevent premature failure and maximizes the lifespan. A 2022 US study provides key insights into SLA batteries' lifespan and performance trends. The median battery lifespan is 22 months before replacements. The replacement rates, as you can see here, it's increased over time, highlighting the need for proactive battery management. And the study also identifies several key factors influencing battery longevity, manufacturer variability, with 2 out of 4 manufacturers showing shorter lifespans, which shows not all batteries perform equally. Internal composition and manufacturing quality impact the longevity. So key habits to extend battery lifespan and wheelchair reliability include avoid deep discharge, undercharging, and prolonged inactivity at low charge. Also, we need to stress correct battery swaps and educate users on charging habits. These small steps make a big difference in preventing power loss and extending battery life. For lithium-ion battery, while they can tolerate deeper discharge, following fast charging and handling practices ensures optimal performance and safety. High-quality cells include built-in safety features managed by a battery management system, or BMS, which protects against nominal conditions. The BMS may be integrated into the battery or distributed across the control and drive system to provide continuous safety and performance monitoring. So a solid understanding of maintenance is essential for wheelchair reliability and longevity. One of the most important factors affecting battery longevity is depth of discharge. Smaller batteries not only reduce driving range, but also degrade more quickly. When covering the same distance, smaller batteries experiences deeper discharge, accelerating wear. For example, a larger battery discharged to 80% may provide up to 1,000 charge cycles, whereas a smaller battery discharged to 50% may only last 100 cycles. So these differences can mean a 3-year lifespan versus just 2 years. Though users might not immediately notice the impact since the wheelchair technically continues to function after the battery replacements. So the best practice is to prescribe or replacing a battery with greater capacity than the user's daily range to minimize deep discharge and ultimately extending the battery longevity. Differences in chemistry and constructions can also impact lifespan. Gel and gel AGM hybrid batteries typically last longer than standard AGM batteries. Even battery with identical specs can vary in performance due to internal construction differences. And charging is often overlooked but critical. For instance, the Full Pro charger from Promobile is optimized for Promobile batteries, which is a hybrid option. A MK battery charging with Full Pro may not achieve optimal performance unless the Full Pro charger is properly programmed for gel chemistry. So incorrect charging degrades capacity over time. What starts as like 50 ampere hours may degrade to even when fully charged. The battery may only hold like 20 ampere hour. So a battery showed 100% at startup, but dropped rapidly on the load, risking wheelchair shutdown when greater power needed, like on inclines. So while smaller or cheaper batteries may seem cost-effective, they may lead to reduced performance, safety risk, and frequent replacements. So using an incompatible batteries or following improper charging practices can lead to frequent failures and a significant shorter lifespan. A study in 2024 highlights how telemonitoring and battery education improve users' charging habits and reduce repair frequency. One of the cohorts with 54 power wheelchair users installed telemonitoring device were observed. Technicians used the telemonitoring data to track battery health and intervene when poor charging habits were detected. The key findings are, this is the first picture, sorry. Before the training, user missed charging at least 3 days per week and charged for only 4 hours at a time. After training, many adopted consistent overnight charging, which means 8+ hours, and improving in battery life and performance. 18% reduction in battery repairs among users who improve charging habits. However, there are still 50% of users did not change behavior, highlighting the need for alternative training methods or additional reinforcements. The takeaway here is while telemonitoring and battery education can reduce repair and costs, behavior change remains a challenge. A combined approach involving education, real-time monitoring, and clinician supports may improve adoption of proper charging practices. So advancements in technology-driven connectivity are transforming power wheelchair use. Real-time battery monitoring allows users to track the battery status, range, and charging habits similar to a smartphone battery. Imagine when your smartphone is fully charged, you probably will use it throughout the day confidently, like watching videos, making calls, or navigating with GPS without worrying the battery life. So in contrast, when we are aware of how low the battery is or how many percentage or estimated time remains, we become more cautious. We will dimming the screen, closing the background apps, or bring a power bank or charger with us to extend the usage. So the same principle applies to power wheelchair. It helps users adjust behavior by planning routes, reducing speed, or recharging proactively to prevent unexpected power loss. Furthermore, as discussed in the previous slides, um, this digital tools also improves wheelchair servicing by enabling faster and remote troubleshooting and proactive issue resolutions. While real-time monitoring enhances daily mobility, air travel with the power wheelchair or power mobility devices can still be a challenging experience. According to IATA air transportation guidelines, passengers must provide essential details about their mobility device and battery specifications. So reach out to the dealers or the manufacturers for documentation. However, regulations can vary between airlines, so it's crucial for travelers to confirm specific requirements with their chosen airline before flying to ensure a smooth journey. And one thing we need to be aware of is that the regulation from IATA are updated periodically, so making it essential for both users and service providers to stay informed about the latest requirements to ensure compliance and safety. Back to repairs, funding is a critical factor in ensuring the battery replacements and maintenance are timely and effective, especially for the most vulnerable users. Limited resources and financial constraints often create significant barriers. The key funding challenges include high costs. Over 50% of users struggle with repair expenses and battery quality risks. Cost-cutting measures may reduce battery longevity and reliability. Also, the training gaps. Limited funding may restrict users and technician training. And the last and most important part is the impact on user independence. With the median repair wait time of 14 days, many users are left stranded at home or forced to rely on inadequate backup chairs, limiting mobility and quality of life. And this is a really interesting study that I'll share. When funding falls short, wheelchair users often face difficult choices, delaying the repairs, opting for cheaper alternatives, or attempting self-maintenance. Unfortunately, with e-commerce and online shopping, making products easily accessible, counterfeit batteries and chargers are becoming increasingly common. These cost-saving measures can lead to safety risks and higher long-term costs. This is a study in 2023 compared 3 cell manufacturers to understand counterfeit battery. Visual inspection showed that the manufacturer A and manufacturer B, this one and this one, looked nearly identical. But the manufacturer A is the original high quality battery, and manufacturer B is a counterfeit version of A with a similar label but lower capacity and missing critical safety features. It's difficult for consumers to detect fakes visually, and manufacturer C is a fraudulent product, significant lower capacity than it claimed. And the counterfeiters may lack the knowledge to design a proper BMS. Bad design practices and poorly made welds within counterfeit batteries have also been reported. Incompatible cells can cause system malfunctions, unexpected shutdown, or rapid discharge. Cost-conscious consumers may be tempted by cheaper battery replacements, but fakes pose hidden dangers. Advocating for better policies and funding can help ensure safe, reliable battery access for all users. So to address the importance of CRT servicing, International Registry of Rehabilitation Technology Suppliers introduced the CRT service practice guideline in 2023. providing a standardized approach to preventative maintenance, repairs, and user education. The key stakeholders' responsibilities include users, they should receive basic inspection training. Suppliers should provide the training, and manufacturers should improve manuals on preventative maintenance and integrate remote diagnostics for early issue detection. Technicians should be trained and escalate issues to clinical teams as needed. So the best practices encourage collaboration between stakeholders to ensure efficient maintenance and issue resolution. As we wrap up, Tracee and I would like to share some updates to the Pacific region. Taiwan, which is where I'm from, regarding lithium-ion battery eligibility for power wheelchairs. So for those who are familiar with Taiwan's location, you can spot a really tiny little blue dots here. Despite being a small country, we have a densely populated landscape. So now in Taiwan, they provide higher financial assistance for power wheelchairs equipped with lithium batteries. To qualify, the batteries must be complying with national or international safety regulations. This updates represents a positive shift, improving accessibility while maintaining strict safety and compliance standards. So the next part will be Tracee introducing some funding perspective regarding New Zealand and Australia.
Can you hear me at that? Before running, had to ask ChatGPT what down under means. So for anyone that's not aware, that's where I'm from, down under, bottom of the equator. So in New Zealand and Australia, so New Zealand I've highlighted in the little blue, and for any Americans in the room that have not travelled, there is no bridge between Australia and New Zealand. You have to get on a bit of a flight to get there. But anyway, I started my career in New Zealand, and we have sort of two main funding pockets. So we have an insurance scheme, which is called accident compensation, which is our insurance for any accidents that occur, and then all the funding for AT for people with disabilities falls under the Ministry of Health. So we have great government funding in different pockets. It's not necessarily equitable in that funding, but because there is funding available for most people, there is repairs done on the chairs as well. But for the last decade, there's been talked about how do we get technicians trained, how they that skill passed over, etc. So what's happened in New Zealand, like fairly recently, is I'm going to check my notes because I double confirmed some dates before. While I'm checking my notes, what I'm just going to say is that Rainey and I are clinicians. We are not like technicians. So my knowledge of charging went to plugging, telling my users to plug in every night, charge it all night. And then it would be good to go for the duration of the day. Anyway, I realized that I do have those stuff on there. But so my skill licensed the DMIRT workshops. So anybody that knows the DMIRT qualifications here for technicians, that was licensed over to New Zealand into an organisation called My Skill. I might get this really wrong, but this was written by a very great man who may or may not be in the room, who created this content, and subsequently New Zealand picked it up. So it is based on the DMIRT, like processing and skill, etc. as well, and it provides a foundational learning. It is designed to be supplemented by specific manufacturer training as well. So it's sort of providing a really good generic foundation. I can get somebody to drive a power chair with eye gaze, and I can't operate. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. That's going to be better. So my skills started off in New Zealand sort of around that 22, 23, right? Whereas last year, ACTA, so ACTA is the Assistive Technology Suppliers of Australia. So that's sort of the Suppliers Association governing body. They then brought that same process over to Australia. So it's very new in Australia. They've only run one course. They had about 20 attendees at that course. And they sort of focused on the expert level of that technician. So what they did is they trained up a whole lot of technicians that would be able to do the practical components to enable somebody to be certified, which is something really important in our industry as well, is because previously technicians were not certified. So the My Skill training, if you aren't aware of the DMERT training, it does run the same sort of module. So there's a level 1 and a level 2, and the foundation modules are all able to be done online in quite a timely period. Now, when I first looked into the workshop, without having spoken to a technician, I actually made an assumption that the batteries theory and troubleshooting was going to be related to hoists and beds, because it's sort of sat in the sort of that entry level and that manual wheelchair skills. But what it's actually doing is really giving that fundamental theory, sort of making sure that people are generically looking at a battery. Is there any spillages? Some of the stuff that Rainey talked about a bit earlier. So doing some visual checks. Essentially, it doesn't really matter what the battery is or that battery type is, because it's this generic understanding that's really important. Yes.
If you've been in it for a long time, do you have to take both, or can you take a free test to take the second level?
Is there a pre-test option for DMERT and
yeah, most of it is just because of life education. But there's a challenge exam if you already have education from just knowledge of the job and just go through.
Yeah, and if you go to talk to the guys in more depth down at Atlas, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, Matt. Atlas. Fire. Yeah, so they do have a stand down there. So like stop by and have a good chat with them as well. So just our take-home messages. First of all, the right battery matters. We can't just put any battery into a chair. And, you know, we heard the opening session this morning with the cost issues that are going on around the world. While we have funding where I am down under, in other parts of our region in Asia, there is no funding available. So if somebody scrapes together the money to self-purchase a chair, and then they have these ongoing costs, what are they doing to try and save that money or try and make that chair keep going? I've also recently been up to the Pacific Islands, and great, thank you so much for the people that are donating chairs and sending them up there. There's no technician, there's no batteries. I couldn't even buy a battery, we couldn't even get a test done. So, you know, sort of making sure that it's all there. Maintenance is key, and we have a responsibility within the industry to make sure that the end users are aware of the requirements, how we can get the best longevity out of it. We need to prioritise safety. We do all play a role, and it's really exciting that there's future innovations and challenges and advancements, but we do have to, you know, really keep on this funding train. Thank you very much for your time. I talked too much, so I didn't even see your time. So thank you for your time today. Is there any questions? We are not experts in technical. Nobody wants to ask for the code? No? Down? Yep. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you guys.
Thank you.